February 15th, Pat Boone. Welcome to 365 Christian Men, where every day we aim to inspire and encourage with real-life stories about men. In the 1950s and 60s, Boone was a popular singing star / heartthrob, second only to Elvis Presley. On this date in 1970, Boone portrayed evangelist-to-the-gangs David Wilkerson in the movie The Cross and the Switchblade. At the time this introduction is being written, in 2020, Boone is still going strong. He created his own record company, the Gold Label, which features stars of a certain age. It's a senior tour for singers, Boone says, but there is a qualification. They have to be able to sell records. Featured stars include Glen Campbell, Jack Jones, Roger Williams, Patti Page, Cleo Laine, Sha Na Na, and Boone himself. So far, they've released more than 30 gold record albums. Boone also has personal projects, such as For My Country, a musical tribute to the National Guard, which builds on his 61st hit record, Under God. Putting his beliefs out there stirred up debate as well as sales. Boone said, "It's not just liberals who can stir things up through recordings." Today's story is about a time when God did the stirring.
Destructive living can cripple a man, but surrendering to Jesus can heal him. It was 1968, and Pat Boone's career appeared to be finished. The Beatles, Dean Martin, Steve McQueen, they were in. To succeed in his career, Boone had become the bad boy that Hollywood wanted, or so he thought. This new path fed his growing doubts in the God he had once trusted. I felt my lifelong faith in the inspiration of the Bible, miracles, and God's relationship to man was beginning to crack, he said. Boone went to church. He wrote books on parenting that painted a perfect picture of his family life. But the noble path he had once walked soon became, in his own words, a twisting, bumpy, downhill road. Drinking, smoking, and gambling in Las Vegas. He did not feel he could give them up. His wife no longer loved him as she once had, and their home had become a battlefield. He did not want to be there, and she did not want him there. To cope and ease her pain and to keep an eye on her husband, Pat's wife, Shirley, decided to embrace his new lifestyle of drinking and partying. They walked hand in hand into the darkness. And their marriage, already teetering on the edge of destruction, reached a new low. Suspicion crept in, accusations flew. Criticism became their everyday language. Then one day, a glimmer of light burst through the dark cloud. It came in the form of Clint Davidson, a man who had once been hailed as the world's worst insurance salesman. In a very short time, Clint had miraculously become the very opposite, a man with a shocking secret for success. Clint had read the Bible and committed himself to Jesus Christ. He had read how the Apostle Paul had confronted obstacles greater than his and overcome them with faith. So, he surrendered his work to God, and in a very short period of time, he became the chairman of 3 corporations and even got his ideas for taxation bills enacted by Congress. But that was not the most impressive thing about Clint Davidson. Pat said when he prayed, it was the most intimate, personal conversation with Jesus I had ever heard. Clint radiated the love of Jesus to Pat Boone, and he brought a much-needed joy to his entire family. Clint's joy seemed even more incredible to Pat when he discovered that as a result of an accident, Clint's wife, Flora, lived every day with agonizing hip pain. Clint told Pat that he believed in God's power to heal the sick, and he had acted on his faith by bringing Flora to a prayer meeting held by Oral Roberts, a man who believed and prayed fervently in the healing power of God. Flora returned home without any pain, and after mystified doctors confirmed what she knew to be true, the Boones were undone. A great hunger swept in to know God in the same way Clint and Flora knew him through Jesus Christ. A few months later, Pat Boone prayed a prayer that changed him forever. "Oh God, I yield my life to you. Take it, Lord, and make it whatever you want. Forgive me of my sin. Wash me clean. And Jesus, oh precious Jesus, baptize me in your Spirit, the Spirit of the living God." From that moment on, in every family and business decision, Pat and his wife sought to put Jesus first. If it did not please him, it was not an option. They read the Bible with new eyes, prayed with a new passion, and nothing about their lives was ever the same again. God tells us in John 12:25, "The one who loves his life more than God loses it. But the one who hates his life in this world and is concerned with pleasing God will keep it for life eternal." What is keeping you from totally surrendering your life to God? Are you ready to pray as Pat Boone did and say, "Take my life, Lord, and make it whatever you want"? Destructive living can cripple a man, but surrendering to Jesus can heal him and give him life eternal.
Morning, men. Chuck Stecker here with the Chosen Generation and the teaching pastor at Summit Church in Centennial, Colorado. You know, as we listen to the story of Pat Boone, the thing that jumps out to me is how many of us besides me has lived a life where the Sunday morning person wasn't the same as the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday person. You know, because I believe that God is calling us to live out our faith only in the days that end in Y. Think about that one for a second. But do we live one way throughout the week and present ourselves a different way on Sunday morning when we're with all the church folks and the pastor and people like that? You know, Pat Boone had that realization that all the things he was doing to represent God, sing, books write, all of this, tours, he wasn't the same person privately. He wasn't the same person a good part of his life as he was representing himself to be from the Christian standpoint. Here's where we get to do an inventory, men. Here's where we get to look at the Sunday morning person that we represent when we step into church. And that Monday morning, Tuesday morning, even Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night person. Are they the same? I think God wants us to be the same. Our challenge today is, how are we living our lives on all of the days that end in Y, not just Sunday? And are there things that we need to change to represent God better on all of the days that end in Y? That's our question. I had a lot of work to do. Wait a minute. I still have a lot of work to do. Join me on the journey, will you? Let's get this right.